Good morning, everybody. We're calling to you today, or running our webinar for you today from a sort of dreary looking Coventry. It's not raining though, so that's the good thing. So it's lovely to see so many of you from so many countries around the world, and welcome to you all today. We'll be talking to you about how you can use your UK degree. So part of something that we do here at Coventry University is we support the employability skills of our international students. So we really were keen to talk to you today about this query. Just before we get started, I did just want to let you know a little bit about the tech. Obviously, being this a webinar, if you are experiencing any problems, please post them in the text box. And it'll be Sally who will be looking into this for you and helping you to resolve that. If you click on the screen, you will be able to manipulate it as you like. So if you'd rather see more of the video than the presentation, you can click and drag that out, and the other way around as well. So please feel free to explore with this webinar and get it as you would like to. Okay, so
should we introduce ourselves a little bit, Morgan?
Yes.
So my name is Chris Stevenson. I'm one of the career consultants at Coventry University. Morgan, as you've already met so far, is the person who's arranged a lot of this programme for you today. So she's led on this scheme at Coventry University for a little while now, supported by me.
Yes.
So we're going to be taking you through some exciting, hopefully interesting information to talk to you today about what we do. So there's a little bit of a bio on the screen, a bit of information about what we've done, how long we've been working in our kinds of roles, and what we're doing to support students in their skills at Coventry, development at Coventry University.
Absolutely. So how we're going to run this today is I'm going to talk you through some of the things that we do as a service. We're also going to talk to you about a UK degree and how it can really benefit you. Then I'm going to hand over to Chris, who's going to talk to you about some of the skills that you need to show in the workplace. And then we're going to go back to myself and I'm going to finish the session for you with some of the other things that employers really like to see. As always, if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, please do add them to the text box. We'll be asking you some questions as well. So please make sure that you're engaging with that text box as much as you possibly can, and we will be answering those as we go along. All right, let's get started.
Remember, a webinar is only as good as the interaction you have. So the more interactive you are, the more enjoyable it makes it for us and for the other people taking part.
Absolutely. Okay, so just wanted to start by giving you a little bit of information about what we do as a service. So here at Coventry University, both myself and Chris are from the careers team, and we are a dedicated team of about 25 people who work to support the employability of our students. So you will come and get lots of advice from us about getting into the job that you want. So some of the things that we would do is we will run one-to-one career guidance to explore your options. We'll also help you when it comes to interviews and helping you prepare for them, running mock interviews so that you're ready when it comes to the real thing. We look at your CVs and we help you with any applications. We support you when it comes to assessment centres, part-time jobs if you're looking to get some experience whilst you're on campus, we can support with that, and LinkedIn as well. But really those are just some of the things that we do. We are a student-centred service, so we will be supporting you as individuals, so you can get advice from us on pretty much anything related to your career. So this is all support that you can get from us should you decide to come to Coventry University. So this session, what we're going to be doing is, by the end of the session, hopefully you'll understand the value of a UK degree, and we'll also begin to plan how you can develop the skills that employers want from you. So we're going to cover some interesting topics, so we really hope that you're engaging with it. Like I said, please do drop any questions that you have in that chat box for us. So we've all heard that a UK degree is going to be of value to you, but the question is, how much can it benefit you in the future? Well, myself and Chris have been looking at some research into this recently, and we came across a really useful report from the UUKI, and that's the Universities UK Institute. And they conducted some research in 2019, so it's really relevant recent research. And they found these following statistics. So 83% of the respondents said that a UK degree helps international graduates find employment. 81% of UK graduates develop professional links with UK organisations. Now, this is really important when you're looking at gaining employment, particularly in the UK, because building those professional links and networking can really help you when it comes to looking for work. 69% of international graduates with a UK degree felt that they had progressed more quickly in their chosen career than peers educated elsewhere. 53% of graduates with a UK degree earn above average wage compared to peers educated elsewhere. And Chris will be talking to you a little bit about this later, about how a UK degree can really benefit you in your pay salary. And finally, they found that 81% of graduates with a UK degree said that they wouldn't have been able to get their job without their degree. And on top of that, almost 1 in 4 international graduates in work said that having a UK qualification was the most important thing to their employer. So we can see that there is tremendous value in studying a UK degree, but we also know that a UK degree on its own may not be quite enough. You also need to be using your skills for the workplace. So I'm going to hand over to Chris at this point, who's going to talk you through that part.
Okay, so the first slide we're going to consider and first information we're going to look at is about the globally, which skills are on the rise and which skills are declining. So there's a little chart on the screen there you can see, and it talks about which skills have come to the fore and which skills have reduced. So as you can see, there's been a growth in skills in analytical thinking and innovation, so how you think about problems and how you solve those problems creatively. Looking at the creativity factors also is really important. Active learning. Now in the UK, the value of our degrees here that we teach in Coventry and with our partner organisations is how we deliver that learning, how we engage students to think, how they problem solve together. So you can really see we're starting to look at those growing skills. So the skills before about memory and dexterity were high before, but they're slightly slipping in terms of their importance. You'll see a really important one on the slide, which is about emotional intelligence. Number 8, that's risen up, but it's becoming increasingly more important about how you interact with people, how you understand their perspectives, how you take on board their ideas and show you're listening to what they're doing. So we consider all these kind of skills developments in the programs that we run, the employability modules you'll get at a Coventry degree, the different activities that we run. We also think technology is important and it's stayed consistently important and it will be important, but it's not just that innovates, it's the people and the skills and the thinking and the collaboration behind that. And then looking at leadership, how you lead, how you manage people, how you work with people. These are all critical skills to thinking about what you want to gain from your degree. So we think it's really valuable to think about what you want to concentrate on, both in your module studies with other students, but also in the wider activities, say through a students' union society you join, or through a part-time job you'll gain here, or through different projects the university will set you, or online international learning projects that we run at Coventry University will all help you start to think about these types of skills. What I'm going to move you on to now is having a look at a tool that I've created with a group of Midlands University I sit as part of, which is a global mindset audit. And these are identified skills from research a little time ago, but they're still very current in terms of what you need to do. So we want you to engage now and think about these skills on the screen, about where you may have developed those skills, what examples you may have of those skills. So for the exercise today, you may want to think about this first page. Which of these skills are you most confident about? Which of those do you think you can demonstrate? So if you want to name the skill and put an example about how you think you can demonstrate that skill, that would be fantastic. And we'd love to see your responses and what you're getting from that. So this is an audit you can look at to see what you want to develop in your studies and how you feel you can develop. So we look forward to you posting your ideas on the chat box now. Whilst you're thinking about that, I'll just give you some examples of the things that we do in relation to these skills at Coventry University. So in any kind of collaborative work you'll do, you'll be set projects with other students from different nationalities. So you'll be working straight from the start in your degree in collaborative cross-national projects with English students, with European students, with people from Malaysia, India, Nigeria, China. So these are really important skills you will get in a group work setting. In terms of adapting your communication, you'll be challenged to deliver presentations. You'll be challenged to think of different perspectives and to challenge the ideas sensitively of other learners you'll be working with. And that links to the fourth point about how you show respect and understand people's perspectives. You can think about how you question ideas, how you pull out those ideas further, how you respond to somebody challenging your own ideas in a way that shows you're taking on board their opinion. How you think about getting over problems is also really important. So you may say, actually, the difficulties I had in a module that I struggled with made me think about the resources that are out there at Coventry University. So we have a Centre for Academic Writing department if you're struggling with those kinds of skills. We have maybe an international office, student advisors, if you're worried about anything to do with visas or home living life that might be affecting the way that you perform in your studies. So these are all really important factors to the support you will get in a degree. Thank you, Jessica. There's a really interesting one that you've just posted there about being an employability officer. Students struggle with negotiating. Yes, it is an area we find that students want to have problems easily solved. Sometimes you have to take people through stages. Adapting communication, it's really key, whether the work or socially. There's so many settings you can think about. Look to gain feedback about what you've done when you come to the UK or if you study here. Get people to tell you where they think they can improve. Work with other people who are not your own nationality. It's one of the best ways of gaining ideas for how to improve in those key areas, which all contributes to that idea of what you do in terms of the development of skills to take back to your home country or to continue work in the UK. Demonstrating drive and resilience. VJ, thank you for that opinion. That's good. Respect and understanding of people's perspectives. So in your own mind, you might have a sheet in front of you. You think about what you'll do, what kind of learning activities or social activities or work-based placement activities you will take up and how you will get that feedback on those skills. The second part of the audit sheet looks at these skills here. So embracing new perspectives, able to form global professional networks. We challenge students to think diversely. So whether that's going out to a different country or taking part in our online international learning projects through the university, through partner organisations, getting students to collaborate through online systems. As you can see in the crazy world at the moment, that's really important. The idea of going out there, reaching out, finding out the problems other people are experiencing are, and coming up with and negotiating solutions to that. Yuping, you've just posted a question. What are the essential skills needed to work in an international organisation? We'll talk about that a little bit later, but generally thinking about it, you need the technical skills to do the job you're going into, so they're really important through the degree you're getting. But we're looking at the wider range of skills and how you collaborate. So these are essential for an international organisation. How you embrace new perspectives, how you reach out and get different pieces of information out there. So good knowledge of the economy you're going into. So we expect our students to go out and research countries they want to work in. We're not going to do the work for you because that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't give you the skills on how to research into different markets, find out what the jobs are most needed within that economy, and to do that. And we really think students researching that will give them the power to then look at what the story is behind how they came across the information and what they know about that, which is really important. Mary, thank you for that. Being multilingual is important. Learning a little bit of a language can be a really key step. We run programs called our Lingua Mundi programs, where we challenge students to learn a little bit of a language before going out. So you can order a cup of tea or a drink or go out for a meal and order that confidently. But you can also show interest in the language you want to work in or get the country you wish to go into. So these are all really interesting perspectives. So have a think about that mindset audit, copy down some of the points on there, work on your own ideas, and we can take that a little bit further with you. Okay, so we're going to move on to a different slide now. We're going to be having a look at the top skills that employers need in a global workplace. So that builds on the idea that you were talking about. What are the most important skills? So this was the 2015 version of those important 21st century skills moving forward. Complex problem solving, coordinating with others, people management. You can see the skills that you would expect a global employer to have from their workers in that way. So have a think about those. Active listening is there, quality control. What do you think of those skills would be increasing now in 2019, 2020? Which one of those do you think is the most important skill now? So quickly post an idea of that, and then think about why it's the most important skill in your mind for you to develop. So do you think it's how you coordinate? Is it how you problem solve? Is it how you look at quality aspects within the workplace and the standard of the work you're delivering? Is it how you make judgments? I know multiple users are bringing up some ideas. Problem solving, interesting creativity, bit of different opinions here, which is all good. This is what we love in a Coventry Learning Centre, is how you challenge ideas. So creativity, computer skills. Computer skills is interesting because technically it's not on the list of that, but they are important, but they underpin everything you do. So we expect at Coventry University students to have the computer skills or develop that, but then it's looking at how they use those skills in different settings. So how they make use of the ability to analyse data, how they make use of the ability to look at problems from a different set of research they may do. So those computer skills, the AI, interesting. So shall we now reveal our results here? So having a look at this, you can see that complex problem solving has stayed up there in terms of what we're doing and how that moves. Okay, so we're looking at complex problem solving, creativity, the people management. Service orientation has crept onto that list. So it's an interesting one in terms of how you see people and how you manage to consider their expectations and how you propose solutions to them, even in the simplest customer service setting. You know, you may come to the UK and work in a retail establishment or a food establishment or warehouse work. Emotional intelligence has crept up that list. You can see that's emerging and increasing all the time, those important types of skills. Critical thinking is rising up that list. It's about how you critique the ideas, the justification you have for what those ideas are and how that works. I think, Amrit, you're trying to share your camera. If you could not do that, we do like to see people in what we're doing. But yeah, thank you very much for that, and much appreciated. You'll just see a graphic on the right-hand side about the 21st century skills. So critical thinking, collaboration, creation, communication. These are 4 C's of the 21st century. To have a think about that in what you want to develop through your studies, whether it be in your home country through a partner institution, or whether it be coming to the UK and developing that as one of our global graduates. What we're going to do now is move on to tease those ideas out a little bit further. So this is just a graphic from the World Economic Forum 2015, but it's still very current in terms of looking at those skills. And moving back to you, Ping, your view about which of those that are most important. You have your foundational literacies, those things you have to do, those core abilities, which employers will expect. So the numeracy, the literacy, the ICT skills, being able to do with financial literacy, being able to understand cultural perspectives, they're a fundamental core part of what you consider. Then what we do is look at developing those kind of competencies a bit further, those kind of critical thinking, the creativity, the communication that lies behind that, and the collaboration. But there's a wider set of character skills as well that aren't necessarily labelled as skills you would definitely put as a section on your CV, but how you're curious, more curious you are. And that's what we want from Coventry students, is the curiosity, the want to think about things in wider perspectives, and the initiative that goes with that. And then the different types of adaptability you show within problem solving. These are all really important to where you're going and what you're doing throughout your studies with Coventry University. So think about these fundamental skills. I hope that answers your questions there on which are the most important to employers. Think about emerging and developing those skills. You Ping, you're just posting a chat question. Does that answer your question? I'm hoping it does. So with that in mind, we're going to move forward now a little bit to look further at where we go next with these skills. So the next thing we have here is a little quiz for you. This is to think about the financial value of the UK degree. So this is a little bit of fun. So what we'd like you to do now is for each of these countries, please post what you think the growth of salary might be from what you would get if you went back, if you were in the USA, what studying, if you came to the UK to study, how much value do you think the UK would add on top of that? And then think about China, think about Malaysia, think about Nigeria, and think about India. We picked these because these are some of the key nations. Hopefully some of you are from those countries now from today's session. So what percentage increase do you think there is from having a UK degree? Or is it decreasing? Is it not so valuable? It's a slight clue there. So should we make it easier? If you post your figure first to the USA, so the USA is what we're doing now. So type up something about the USA. We'll see how much agreement or disagreement there is. So what we'd like you to do is put it in percentages. So how much do you think, so if you say 100% was the same level you'd earn there, is it higher than 100% or lower than 100% for the USA, and how much? So if you could post a percentage there, I'll give you some figures and facts and financial figures in a minute to build on. So for the USA, is it 80%? Is that
yeah.
Okay, so we're having to think about the USA, about China. Okay, so reasonable. So is that a 20% increase, Darren, and 30% increase? Yeah, so that's great. If people could post in a similar way to Darren's posted quickly, we'll give you just a minute to have a look at that and see what differences of opinion we get, because that's what we like, that kind of thinking in different ways and getting those different opinions. So people can quickly copy that down. So VJ's gone for an average overall, 20%. Okay. That's quicker. Yeah, just post an average overall, and we'll do a big reveal on this in a minute. Yeah, there's a lot of things we like thinking. Okay, Ryan, yeah, some interesting statistics there. So people have gone for lower in the USA, China's slightly higher, India's very much higher in terms of what Ryan thinks. Mirrors slightly what Darren said as well. Have 25% average. Okay, we'll just go a couple more answers because I know people are typing there, and I want to show respect for people's opinions. Alex, could you possibly turn your microphone off? Thank you very much. Okay, so now I'm going to do the big reveal for what the figures are with this. Okay, so USA 56% increase in the salary. China 202%. That's a massive increase from what you can expect if you engage correctly and appropriately in the study skills and those skills that we've studied and looked at in our presentation today. Malaysia 129%, Nigeria 722% is the statistics. We've done this for as valid a source as we can find, the most up-to-date source. Yeah, Susan, we looked at that and we very much agreed. It's amazing when you look into research and what you can do, but these are for people who really make use of the experiences they're getting. We do work a lot with students, Morgan and I, who struggle to embrace different ways of working, and we do a lot in our support programs with Coventry University to bring people's ideas on. So do expect to be encouraged, challenged.
I think we will too.
Yeah, yeah. There's lots of factors to a decision about where you live and what you do. So don't just determine the salary as being the important area, but it's that experience you have. What I'm going to finally do now, my final slide from me before I hand back to Morgan, is have a think about now what that looks like in terms of global salaries in those kind of areas. So if you're talking salary figures, you've got there the results of what we've done. So you've got a variance to the national average, and you've also got a national average graduate salary. So you've got an average overall in the economy and an average overall for the graduates in that way. So this gives you some background knowledge about what the salaries may look like if you choose to do a UK degree. You may have to find you end up working for a year or two after your studies to build a foundation and to go back to a country and demonstrate those abilities. And often that takes a little bit of time to do that. But think about the relationships you keep with the countries you come from, or the relationships you build in the UK with employers. It doesn't happen overnight. We challenge students to go out there early, think about planning what they're going to do, the activities they're going to take part in, write up how that evidence is, how they have that. And then the key thing there is practicing how you demonstrate that and how you put that across. If you come onto our Empower program, we do quite a lot of work on telling the story, which Morgan's now going to move on to have a look at with you.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. So I think Chris raised a really valuable point there, that those figures for the average salaries are really quite appealing. And I know a few of you said, right, that's it, I'm off to work in China and Nigeria, which is what we were thinking when we were doing the research, to be honest. But it does raise a really valuable point that it's for the students that make the most out of those UK degrees. So the UK degree in itself is obviously very appealing when it comes to employers. And that's because they like the style of assessment that we do here in the UK, when we have quite creative ways of doing our assessments, presentations, critical thinking. And as you can see from the previous slides, those are the skills that employers want to see. So you can see that that's why a UK degree is valuable. However, employers also like to see a little bit about the person they are employing as well. And that's what I'm going to briefly talk to you about now. So this is an interesting quote from our KPMG, which is obviously a really large company, global company, from their overseas graduate recruitment lead. And she said, I spoke to her at the start of January, and she said, we can teach the workplace skills. We need employees that are workplace ready. Now, what does she mean by that? Basically, what she means is it's great to have industry and sector knowledge. Usually this has been established by your degree, which is why you're coming to study. But it does go further than that. Employers like to see evidence of the skills that, as Chris said, you might not necessarily put on your CV, but that you demonstrate through the things that you do whilst you're on campus or whilst you're engaging in your degree. So, for example, they like to see commitment and dedication. Now, you can't really put a line on your CV saying, you know, examples of where I've shown it, but you might show that through engaging in particular programs at university, getting involved in all of the social activities that we have at university, and there are a lot. We've got a fantastic student union here at Coventry University that arrange lots of societies, buddy cafes for international students, things for you to get involved in, and ways that you can really build up examples of where you've shown commitment and dedication. Lifelong learning is really important to employers. So they need to be confident that you're not just going to say, right, I've got my degree, I'm going to close my textbooks forever. Actually, life is all about learning from mistakes, learning new techniques of doing things. And in a world where there are lots of new ways of technology and doing new things, you need to be showing commitment to your employer that you will always engage in that lifelong learning. So global organisations are now global, and they really like to see the ability to relocate if needed. Now, obviously, if you've studied from a different country, you move studying a degree in a different country, you've already shown examples of that. So employers feel confident to take you on. Ability to work without structure. The workplace isn't quite like a university or a school setting where you're quite often given a timetable, told to go here, do this at this time and such like. Workplace says, you know, you go on and do the work as you like, but you need to show examples of where you've been able to do that, because it's not necessarily all that easy. And also being workplace aware as well. So if you can get work experience, work shadowing, work placements when you're studying degree, that shows that you've seen a workplace and you know how it works. On top of that, it's also making your internationalisation work for you. And this is what we do through our Empower programme if you decide to study at Coventry. As international students studying in a different country, you've already shown examples of how you are culturally aware. Like we've said, this is really important for the workplace because you're going to be working with people from all around the globe. You're going to have language skills, and somebody already posted earlier that they're able to speak 5 languages, which is absolutely amazing. I can barely speak 1 additional, just about German, that's about it. But to show that you've got all those language skills is really useful, especially when working for a global organisation. You're adaptable because you've been able to move to a different country and fit in and learn new ways of working from there. And you're also global thinkers. So in a world where organisations don't just operate in the one country, you're already thinking about your home place and how this affects the world and where you're from. So you can see the UK degree is fantastic, but you need to also be showing examples of where you've demonstrated all of these soft skills. And what we call that at Coventry is owning your story. So by that, I mean being confident and talking about your story and the reasons why you've done what you've done. So employers also require information about you as an individual. So not just all of your qualifications, all of the societies you've been enrolled in, but actually what it is about you as an individual that is going to fit with that organisation. So employers will often ask questions like, what are your motivations? What are your passions? What are you interested in? These are things that they want to know. They don't necessarily need to be related to the job that you're doing. They can just be things that you like to do. So if you volunteer in your spare time, or if you are a member of a particular group, or you're giving back to your community in some way, these are things that employers really like to see. They also want to know about your reasons for applying to that particular country and why you chose to study that degree. How you can contribute to that company. Now that means doing the research on the organisation. So if the organisation's won some awards, or they're a global organisation, or they are working on a project that you have done at university or that you have learned about at university. These are the things that you need to do your research in to show the employer how there's a match between employing you and getting the job. And also what your next steps might look like. What do you want to do in the future? How can this job fulfill what you want to do right now? Now, these are all quite difficult questions, but these are what we generally focus on when it comes to our Empower programme. Now, you've heard us talk about Empower. You've seen it on the top of the banners the whole way through this presentation. But Empower is our programme at Coventry University, aimed at supporting the employability needs of our international students. And we've got a lot of international students here, so it's a really popular programme. We've got really good feedback from our students. They've really enjoyed being a part of it. And we still keep in touch with our students that have been through the programme now. Fairly often they come back to us, they tell us how successful they've been in getting the job that they want or getting the placement that they want, and they often thank us for our work as well. So what do we do as part of the programme? Well, we cover areas of your self-development. So uncovering your story, effective communication, and we build on how we make those skills that we know employers want from you, how you show evidence to them when applying for work. There is also mentoring opportunities available through this programme. So we recognise that you are all individuals with your own individual needs and questions and queries and concerns. So we meet with you individually over a period of time to help progress you into the job that you want. And you also have opportunities to learn from others at the university. So it's a really, really good programme and something that we are really proud to be a part of and really enjoy working on. So this is again something that you might want to get involved in should you decide to join us here at Coventry. So that's about all from us today. We've left some further reading and some references here for you to have a look at. These are the resources that we use to help build this presentation. So please feel free to have a look at those in your own time. It would be really great if you could just type in the chat box your feedback from this, because it really helps us to know what you'd like in the future or particular areas that you found enjoyable from this session. So I'll leave you to sort of add your comments in that text box. I know Sally will be asking you a few things as well. So she's currently put there, she runs 1 webinar a month, looking at doing 2. So please also add if you would like to get involved in that, more webinars per month as well. Otherwise, it's been lovely speaking with you from so many different countries.
Absolutely, your participation's been great. We've really liked seeing the ideas on the screen.
Yeah.
We buzz and feed off your ideas. It really helps us to shape these types of sessions that we run.
Absolutely.
So you're already demonstrating the kind of attitudes we expect from somebody studying a global institution. So thank you very much for your contributions today.
We will stay around and answer those questions for a little while. Otherwise, that will be the end of the presentation. So feel free to log off if you want to. We'll answer those questions, but please do ask any questions that you have. Give us your feedback on the session. And it's been lovely working with you this morning. Thank you.
Bye-bye.